I think this might just be one of the most ugly relics I've ever seen on a Fender Custom Shop Stratocaster. But the catch is, it's actually one of the best Stratocasters I've ever played. In today's episode, we're checking out the Rory Gallagher Fender Stratocaster. So without further ado, let's get straight into this Squealing Pig Guitars video. Hello guitarists, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury drum machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Keightley, and today you join me on a very hot day here in Nottingham, and I'm showing you a beautiful Rory Gallagher signature model. So as you can see by that little name tag here, here's the Rory Gallagher case that we're going to be looking at today. It's a very kind of old school 60s case. Let's open it up. Wow, that's pretty cool. So I actually opened this a couple of days ago in our new Arrivals series, and as I mentioned, I do think the Relic job on this is quite tatty. Obviously, they've just painted the areas rather than paint the whole guitar and strip it back. However, I think the wood underneath looks amazing, and perhaps they just did a completely unfinished one, or they redid this guitar by kind of sanding away the areas rather than just having painted areas. I think it would look a lot better. This is quite an old Fender Custom Shop release. This was released in 2014 to pay tribute to Rory Gallagher. It's a 60s Strat, but with pretty much all the paint taken off it, and it has the same carvings that are on Rory Gallagher's original guitar. It even has the one replaced Gotoh tuner on the lower E string. This guitar is infamous for sure. Rory Gallagher was a very famous musician from Ireland.
He was a legendary guitar player, always wielding a three-tone 60s Stratocaster. But it's actually quite an interesting story of how Gallagher actually came to own his 1961 Fender Stratocaster. He bought the guitar for £100 in 1963 on credit from the owner of Crowley's Music Store in Cork. According to the legend, this was the first Stratocaster to ever reach Ireland.
And reportedly, the reason the guitar got to this kind of level of aging was because he had very acidic sweat, and he used to sweat all the time at gigs, a little bit like I am now with the heat in this room, and basically it would just tear all the paint off the guitar. So we got this very kind of bare bones looking guitar. The reason I'm calling this the worst Relic I've ever seen is because Fender haven't painted this guitar and then sanded it down. Instead, they've just painted the areas where the finish is. So you can see here, you got this glossy finish and then like no kind of transition to the bare wood, which in my opinion looks a little bit gaudy, especially in person. It just goes to show how far relicing has come for Fender. Their custom shop relics now are so much better and so much more realistic. But the relicing is a bit of a blessing and a curse. The curse being from close up, it looks quite ugly, this guitar, but from where you guys are sitting, it probably looks like a genuine relic. But also, there's barely any finish on this guitar, which means this guitar resonates so well. It's so easy to play, nice slow action, and as I mentioned, it's one of the best Stratocasters I've played in the last couple of months. So we better go over the specs that make up this awesome Rory Gallagher signature. So let's go to the spec talk. So starting off with the construction, we have a select older body on this one, which is nice and lightweight and has some really nice figuring in, as you can see from the back of this guitar. We then have a maple neck with a nice rounded C profile and a rosewood fingerboard. This is a slab board. In the 60s they were doing veneer and slab boards. Slab basically just means a thicker piece of rosewood. We have the clay dots as you'd expect on a 60s, and we have a 9.5 inch radius. Of course, as it's a vintage Fender with 21 frets, we got the 3-ply guard, which has this nice minted look to it. And then moving on to the headstock, you'll see that one of the tuners is slightly different. This was a spec that Rory Gallagher's original guitar had, so basically it has 5 Spursel tuners, and then one is Gotoh, which is very interesting indeed. As you can see with the Relic in here, again, very extreme. It's kind of just painted on this lacquer. There's no real transition between the two finishes, which I think looks quite bad. But there is some cool carvings that kind of pay homage to Rory Gallagher's original guitar. You can also see at the top of the neck joint here that there's some more carvings, which look pretty cool. So other than that, we basically just have a normal 60s Stratocaster. So we have the hand-wound 60s pickups. We actually have a 3-way switch in here, which is true to vintage spec. In the 60s, they didn't have a 5-way switch. Obviously, a lot of them get replaced. We have 1 volume, 2 tones with the kind of vintage setup with the wiring. So the tone is on the middle and this tone here is on the neck, so no tone for the bridge. We have the vintage Fender tremolo, and of course we have the plastics all over this guitar. So that is all the specs of this Rory Gallagher signature guitar. Of course, as I mentioned at the start of this video and what I've titled it, I do think it's the worst Relic I've ever seen, but this guitar is highly resonant and very fun to play. But you guys can be the judge in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this Relic, but we better plug it in and I better show you how resonant this guitar is. So let's get set up and get into the tone demonstration. So guys, welcome to the tone demonstration of this Rory Gallagher Fender Custom Shop guitar. Today's episode, I'm running through the 2-Rock Bloomfield drive on the lead gain channel with a little bit of gain, but not too much. It's kind of a clean tone on the lead gain channel. Obviously, showing you this beautiful guitar today. So let's start off with a rotary pedal on and a compressor, and here's guitar in action. So that neck pickup sounds so nice. Such an organic tone, and if I turn off the rotary pedal, you'll hear that it's still got that vibe. Without the rotary pedal, it's still got a lot of vibe. So this is a 3-way switch guitar, so you don't technically have positions 2 or 4, but you can wedge the switch in between and kind of get a approximation. As you can hear there, that's the middle and the neck. Love that tone, just sounds incredible. Middle position now. Now we're going to wedge it between the middle and the bridge. Loving the tone of this guitar so far. So easy to play. It's got a nice slinky action. Perhaps it's got maybe 9.5 on it. It feels very slinky, very easy to play. Loving it. Let's hear the bridge pickup. So I've just piled on a tube screamer, so we're going to get some heavier gain tones now, so let's hear that now. Now let's hear the bridge pickup. Finally, let's hear some fuzz tones. So guys, that's the end of the Rory Gallagher review. Let's go to the outro of this video where I give you my full review and rating on this amazing guitar. So guys, we're at the end of this Squealing Pig Guitars video. Before I get into my review and rating of this Rory Gallagher signature, make sure to go down this video and let me know in the comment section below what you think of this guitar. Do you think it's ugly or do you think it's amazing? Let me know down below. And whilst you're down there, make sure to leave a thumbs up, that's that thumbs up icon down below, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. YouTube tells us that 68% of you guys are subscribed to the channel, so make sure to hit that subscribe button to join the SPG community. We're growing rapidly, nearly at 10,000 subscribers, and we'd really appreciate your support. In today's video, I'm going to rate this guitar an 8.5 out of 10. In terms of the playability and the feel, it's an incredible Stratocaster, and these 60s pickups really do sound sublime. The only thing that lets it down is the Relic, but still I think from a distance, especially where you guys are sitting, I actually think that it looks really cool, but close up is where it gets a little bit gaudy. But if you take the kind of finish aside and the signature element away, it's an incredible 60s Stratocaster and you really can't go wrong. You can also pick these guitars up at quite a decent discounted price now, because obviously, you know, there's been another 11 years of the custom shop, so there's a lot more desirable models out there. But if you're a Rory Gallagher fan and you'd like a guitar to kind of pay homage to that legend, but also if you're not a fan of Rory Gallagher, you've kind of got a little bit of that kind of Black One John Mayer vibe about it, obviously with all the finish removed. And I really do think there's something about a guitar with no finish. It genuinely does resonate a lot better, or at least this guitar resonates well with no finish. But as always, guys, I'm really intrigued to hear what you think of this Rory Gallagher signature. Do you think it sounded more resonant? Do you like the sound of it? What do you think about the mismatched tuner? How it's a recreation of his guitar? Let me know down below in the comment section below. I love chatting to you guys down there. But that is the end of the video, guys. As always, thank you so much for tuning in today and watching this video. I will see you tomorrow for another one, but until then, keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon.